right. All right, we're live. Let's see what these guys are talking about. They can't even hear me right now. All right, we are officially live. I see Ramon has his mic muted, so I don't even know if he's there.
Oh, excuse me.
Hey, we got a Jordan too. Welcome to the Ilderon Tales. This is Group B, Legends Lost, and woohoo, we got a full party.
I was just trying to cool down. I went on a marathon run.
Wow. Okay, Brandon, just give you a heads up. I may be in and out.
Okay. I was debate. Nope.
I'm on the head.
Yeah, I'm not gonna mute you. All right. If you go to push to talk, you're good. Anyways, yeah. When we last left off Group B, and I will recap this sweet and short because last session a lot happened, but it was pretty straightforward about what happened. So you guys finally made your way to North Shore, and I think we'll just go ahead and mute him. There we go. We'll unmute him if we need something from Housick. Anyways, you guys made your way to North Shore. When you got to North Shore, Hapelri asked if she could see the Sky Queen's, the place where the Sky Queen was raised, as her final request. The party obliged her, taking her to see where the Sky Queen was raised at, and it was just a humble, small little farming house. You guys broke inside, and the house was had long since been moved out of, and Hapelri left a letter there on the floor. From there, Hapelri took you guys to what was essentially a questing board, and showed you guys an older request that had been put on this board. North Shore is a town that is on the road to Mentori, which is a famous adventuring town. So adventurers like Rahiman's Guild always pass through this town. So people, you know, who need adventurers will put up requests inside of North Shore. One request that was on this board was from a child whose mother had come down with an arcane sickness and needed an arcanist to dispel it. Effie informed you guys that when Rona has a flaw and she is never able to resist helping a child in need, and that is how Winrona found Effie. You guys assume this was the bait that Olivia used to get her to this location and went to the farmhouse. You found the farmhouse to be completely abandoned, but as you guys stepped inside, a programmed illusion went off, and it was the illusion of the girl that dragged the party to the back room of the house. And as soon as the door opened, there was a rune that was casting Arcane Gate and pulling the party through to a point on the other side. When all the party got through, they were in a dungeon with a stone wall where the door had been. From there, you guys explored the passages and found them just literally littered with defensive runes, summoning all types of undead creatures. And each time you guys killed a creature was blowing up with even more weird, strange runes on the floors. Just these creatures' bodies were inscribing these runes on the land as they died. After you guys got through one gauntlet of a hallway, Olivia appeared, Olivia the Lost, and she was not happy at your guys' presence. Jessica, at the mention of the desert, Jessica braved up and she released the Phoenix soul she was holding inside of her this whole time, and told the party to find a different way around, and that she and the giant ice phoenix that appeared in the hallway would hold off Olivia for you guys. Fighting a losing battle, eventually most of the party got out of the hallway. And Frost Talon froze the hallway, and Olivia became engaged in combat with it. Every time she missed a disintegrate on it, it would instead hit the ice wall that it created, with 3 misses breaking it. So they fought in one hallway. The rest of the party found a way around and found Dila Winrona trapped in some modified resilient sphere. Nothing could get inside or outside the sphere. Nothing inside the sphere could affect anything outside, and vice versa. You guys got Effie, and she was unable to dispel it, and Hapelry was able to pass through it harmlessly. While nobody else in the party was even able to touch it without taking damage. Urkus was also able to push his way inside it, not as harmlessly as Hapelry, but with a little bit of effort. He stepped inside. When Rona theorized that this thing was also trapping her soul and preventing her from, or if she died, you know, she just woke up here a few days later. So she asked the party to, if either Urkus and her died at the same time, or Hapelry and her died at the same time, that since they could travel outside of the sphere, that Winrona could probably, her soul could probably follow each of theirs out as it disturbed the magic. With a heavy heart, Urkus did so. And, oof, man, I need some background music for that. I know. I'll just go with this right here. Anyways, with a heavy heart, Urkus did so, and killed Hapelry and Winrona at the same time. From there, the party resolved to run, and you guys heard Olivia break the ice wall, and also the same that round she killed Frost Talon too, and stepped back into the room. Dragging Jessica by the hair. Jessica was barely conscious but still alive, and Olivia was incredibly surprised that you guys were even able to do absolutely anything and had no idea what you guys had done. Urkus, however, had scouted ahead in the dungeon and removed a rune from the floor that seemed to be the source of a portion of Olivia's powers. And Olivia was unable to conjure the explosive rune she'd been using to damage and trap you guys. And the party fled out the only tunnel that was available to them. The last sight the party saw was Olivia pressing Jessica's face to the force field and demanding to know what happened. You guys ran through this tunnel, and there was no light on it, but you guys could feel a slight wind coming from it, and it sloped upwards. After probably about just 4 minutes of just straight dashing out of here, you guys... Oh, and hey, we can stay on this page. You guys got out of the tunnel, and you have no idea where you're at. It is dark. It is nighttime. I'm trying to give you guys all the details I can without spoiling anything. There is a tree line in the distance. Guys don't know what direction you're in, so and this tunnel kind of comes out next to a small rocky outcropping. There are a few of them here, and probably like maybe just like scanning the area around. You guys could likely see the broken down fence of what would be like something like a small little piece of a fence that probably was on something that used to be a road. And that's where we're going to start. Oh, let me unmute Jordan because he might be asking questions.
I would like to inspect the body and see if there's anything of use or how he died.
Alright, Brandon, I am also on push to talk now, so hopefully that'll make that easier on you.
Okay. What body? There is no body with you guys.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Did you read the Facebook chat where I said that I'm going to need you to roll for me?
I assumed. Let me open up Housick's sheet and I'll put it on another window.
Am I still carrying Tristan?
Oh yeah. Both Tristan and Rahiman would have been able to run. Or rather, they would have been able to, you know, move with you guys. You taking the dash action would move Tristan faster. But both Rahiman, Tristan, or all three, Rahiman, Tristan, and Housick are coughing at the top of their lungs. It is painful to breathe.
Coughing from the top of your lungs doesn't seem very efficient. Wouldn't it make more sense to cough from the bottom?
Yeah, but it's kind of like... it's like burning your throat.
Is there any signs of like a town around us? Anything, any civilization anywhere?
You guys...
Can I roll perception checks?
In the dark.
Alright.
See fire. You can see fire, you know? Towers.
Housick rolls a perception check. You get an 11 on that. It is dark at night. Looking around, you can see just very brief or very like small things. You can see a little tiny specks of light from the forest. You know, maybe there's people camping there.
This is with the knowledge that I have dark vision, correct?
Yes, dark vision out to 60 feet.
What about Urkus?
I guess
with
that's another
that
double check.
BA?
Do I need to... Would I roll with disadvantage? Is it dark enough for that?
To do a perception check?
Yeah.
No, you can just look around. I can tell you what you see.
I was just making sure because you said it was night. I'm not sure exactly how dark that is.
Yeah. So there's no light pollution out here. So the way this works is it is extremely dark. But the longer you guys are out here in the dark, the more your eyes are gonna adjust, even if you don't have dark vision, and you're gonna be able to, you know, make out to your vision range, at least in the dark, of, you know, like tiny like silhouettes of people, you know, trees or something like that.
I attempt to also view what the crew is viewing, but I instead cough.
Do we know what time it is, roughly?
It is late. Effie is going to be looking at the sky and say, no, this doesn't make any sense. It was mid-afternoon when we got in there. You guys were only in that dungeon for maybe 40 minutes in total.
That's a long 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Do we know this area at all? Like, is this familiar to us, or is it possible that we're in a completely different part of the world?
Oh, we're probably in that.
Yeah. So,
because we teleported into the dungeon.
Yes, you did. It is very likely you're in a different part of the world. Ramon, or I'm sorry.
I was gonna ask if I roll nature, will the I'm gonna assume I am slightly familiar with the plants and trees of Alil Nagai, more or less. If I roll nature, would that help me figure out if we're at least in Alil Nagai or not?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
One other useful skill you might have, survival, can be used for discerning direction, for tending weather, and something else.
I have neither, so
I
somebody...
would like to check my compass.
You know what?
Alright.
Have him check his compass, I'll use nature.
He's just spinning.
No! I don't know what's going on.
What's going on?
Oh, hey, it helped instead of picking up my compass.
You're a ranger?
Yeah, I'm a ranger.
So, your compass, I'm gonna do the compass first. And then I will handle the nature check. Let's see, we'll draw a line. Your compass is pointing like that. As far as where north is.
So it's like north, a little bit northwest.
Yeah, I'll put that right there. So you can move that anywhere you want on the map. If you are able to move that. If you can't, just let me know. Urkus is going to roll a nature check, and ecology, the makeup of this land, the road, you know, the plants around, nothing looks familiar to you.
Do we have any idea of the time, though, Brandon?
Looking up at the sky, it looks late at night.
Yeah, I guess if time's all screwed up because we're somewhere else, it's gonna be hard to guess.
When we scried the one time.
Yes.
Sorry, so this is in character. This is me like shouting. We thought the furniture was what? Heimsdalian?
Correct.
Are we in Heimsdale?
I've never been here. It could be.
I mean, it would make sense if the furniture is of the area. You know, it makes sense that it's in Heimsdale, and I believe that's far enough that it would be technically later.
Brandon, didn't I come from the Vale area?
Draelos is from Alil Nagai.
Oh, okay.
Brandon, how far are those lights you said, like possible camps?
It is a good distance north. Well, yeah, you guys would know it's north because you see it on
Roman's compass.
Yeah, Roman's compass. They're a good distance north, maybe a mile or so.
I'd like to remind people that I can scout and be stealthy.
Just
Let's go find help. We're dying.
You guys want to maybe camp for the night? Wait till sunlight, or
I'd say we need to move away from here, considering. Oh my god, I can't remember her name. Olivia. Olivia is still back there.
I agree.
Isaac's also all for looking for a place to, cure his illness.
All right.
And look, if we are in Heimsdale, or nearby, north is closer to the shore.
So Brandon, how populated is this world? Is it common to find like big port cities in coastal towns, or is that like a pretty unusual?
Seedale is very, very, very populated, and Alo studies history, so we just would generally know this. Galkin, if you guys are on Galkin, is a shattered continent. There was an empire that stretched from one coast to the other coast of it, and it has been broken apart by 700 years of war, and, people have, it's not uncommon to see settlements just, completely abandoned and people congregating in, large defended cities.
But it's pretty common to find, like ferries and transport across the ocean. That's not unheard of or super rare.
Yeah, I am a sailor by profession.
Okay, that's convenient.
I was mentioning we might be able to find something to the north. If we are in Heimsdale, it could be a coastal town or a port. We can maybe find passage back to.
And if we are in Hemsdale, a good direction to go is north most of the time anyway.
Well, if we're wrong, I don't know if north is exactly smart if we're still in the Lilnagai.
But we were in the northern edge of the Lilnagai, weren't we?
I will circle where you guys were. Let's use red. You were in this town right there.
What's that little fort at the the fork in the river where those three rivers come together?
Up here. That fort.
Yeah. What is that?
That is the nation of Alyan, where it meets with Lilnagai. That nation, or rather that city, is called Shadowtop.
Okay. Gotta say, I think heading north is probably a good idea. If we are in Heimsdale, we'll come to a port, and if we are in Lilnagai, we'll come to something familiar, so we'll know we're there at least.
And Brandon, you said up north we did see some lights, far in the distance.
You did.
Okay. Shit.
How about I check them out? And,
Yeah, I was gonna say, can Drelus, I would turn to Drelus and say, hey, can you check out those lights? Or check out.
How far away are those? Are they close enough that he can scout reasonably? Because you said I heard a mile.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good distance to stay away.
Yeah, they're
people away for right now.
Yeah,
You got 2 people nearly dying.
Yeah, they're probably about if the horizon's your full distance, about halfway between you guys and the horizon.
Is this line just flat? Are there any mountains or high elevations that we could get to maybe get a better view of the area?
Some of this area is flat, particularly from what and this is hard to see because it's pretty late, it's pretty dark out. You can see the road immediately around you, but where you assume you can't see the where you can't see, you know, like the sky or something, you can assume there's probably terrain or something that you can't quite make out the figures of which. The only reason you can make out the tree line is because of the fires, like occasionally, you know, just lighting up the pieces of the tops of the trees.
Well, I'd like to put my glimmer to kind of a gray camouflage-esque sort of thing to kind of blend in with the dusk. And I'm going to go ahead and do a stealth check and sneak off.
Alrighty, so Dralos is going to head north?
Yep.
Alright. It is going to take you a little while to get there. Is anybody else doing anything?
I say we give him like 45 minutes and then follow after him.
Alright.
I leave before anyone decides anything, so I'm just making my way downtown, walking fast.
As you guys are like sitting here discussing this, Rahiman is going to turn to Thyri and say, pull out our maps. Thyri is going to shrug and say, Tessia has the maps. He's going to keep coughing and say, damn it.
What happened to Tessia? Did she not make it?
No, Tessia didn't go inside the house. She was standing guard when everybody else went in.
Yeah,
the others
Oh, we just left her behind.
Yeah, we left a lot
Also, they're not
behind.
dead. We were really sad if my sister died and my cat died at the same venture.
Oh yeah, you left your cat back there, huh?
Oh, that cat is dead. That cat is dead.
Yeah, that cat is
cat's
super
probably
dead.
worse. That cat's probably now a servant of an evil sorceress.
I'm about
You
to
know
cry.
You could just summon another cat.
He's not a ranger. This is a cat he bought.
Oh.
As you guys are...
Okay, so at level 12, just take Magic Initiate and pick up Summon Familiar.
Then won't die. Yes.
But you still have to deal with the death of this one.
Anyway,
Too sad. And I repress that.
Tristan is a bit upset if you're going to make a big deal out of your cat dying because
My boss died
my
also.
daughter is now in the
my not quite but almost adopted daughter just died in that situation, saving us. So pardon me if I think that your cat is a little bit lower on the rung.
She might not be dead.
All I care about is the money. And my kitty. And my sister.
Anyways.
He's a carer, not a not carer.
Money is the first thing.
Well, I've already started running off, so that's completely out of
Yeah.
character.
Effie is going to be catching, it's going to be weird. Effie's not going to be catching her breath. She doesn't need to breathe. But you're going to see her just kind of stretching for a moment, like relaxing her body before she looks at the rest of you guys and say, yes, we need to get away from, and she gestures to this place as quick as we can. I'll collapse it, and then I'll catch up with you guys.
Effie, quick question. When, where Dila's gonna resurrect at an earth fire, does she resurrect at the nearest by earth fire?
Effie shakes her head and says, no, when we get back to Sky's Reach, we'll have to get passage to Heimsdale. And she...
If we're not already there.
Hey, Effie, is it possible we are in Heimsdale right now?
She's
It's possible we could be anywhere.
Yeah, she's gonna scratch the back of her head and say, transportation magic's never been my specialty, but with how arcane gates work, I believe it's a possibility.
There's no features I could identify that might help me narrow down where we're at.
You guys, yeah, you guys are literally in the middle of like a dark field.
Yeah.
If I've ever been to Heimsdale, I'd have probably only been at the port. So it's like I don't know fields.
It could be like a big mountain that's famous or well known or something, or anything. I don't know.
Hey, Brandon, can I pray to my goddess to see if I can figure if she'll tell us where we are?
Your God.
All right, I'll make you a religion check. What are you saying?
Please, can you tell us where we are and get us to civilization before I kill over and die, and I'm not able to fulfill your quest?
You say as you cough the whole time.
Hauzik is going to pray. You guys are gonna see him just like trying to like fight through his disease long enough to get like this sentence out in his mind just mentally, and then Hauzik is going to for one just brief second feel like he is completely choking and that he can't breathe at all. And then it passes.
Passes like he's healed.
He is breathing. He is breathing regularly. He still feels all the effects of his sickness, but he's not coughing anymore.
Oh, neat.
Oh, that's a boon. I can appreciate that.
Hey, Brandon.
Yes.
May I spend 2 minutes meditating to swap out one of my second level spells for lesser restoration?
So here's the thing on that, because I was looking at it, and you have to prepare your spell list at the time of completing your rest. I will allow you to do that, but what that would entail as far as like preparing your spells is you're going to dump all of your spells and then prepare this one single spell. Of like the time of preparing your spell list would be X minutes per spell you prepare. If you don't prepare your other ones and you just spend the 2 minutes on that one spell, lesser restoration is the only thing you're able to cast, because that is your spell list for now. Does that make sense?
Yes. In that case, let's bump it up to 3 minutes for lesser restoration and cure wounds.
I'm going to be gone for a little while, like probably half an hour-ish.
Alrighty. So yeah, just keep track of it yourself. Alright, while you guys are there, Olivia no, I'm kidding.
No, I was gonna suggest before all that, we should probably move away from the cave entrance. Just maybe off to the side.
Yeah, Effie pulls out her spellbook and gestures you guys on and says, I'll take care of this. Thyri is going to walk up to her and say, No, don't. Effie's gonna look at her and they're gonna start having a conversation. Who's walking away? Who's staying?
I'm hanging out.
Bye, Felicia.
You know what? I wanted to leave, but Thyri's the one that's questioning Effie right now, so I want to know what's going on.
Thyri is going to say, look, if she is who you guys say she is, she didn't want to be found. She's probably going to be chasing after Dila, if at all possible. Which, if she can teleport out of there, she might. And she's gonna look to Rahiman and say, Anita and Mealy are inexperienced. How long do you think they'll wait before they come looking for us? Effie is going to say, get on with it. Thyre's gonna say, I can keep an eye out on this entrance. If she comes out of here, perhaps I can send you guys a signal somehow. But if our companions come out of here, we don't want to collapse the only entrance that we know of that they can come out of. Effie's gonna close her spell book and look to Rahiman and say, "Are you all right with her making this call?" Rahiman's gonna cough several times and say, "I trust her. I trust them with my life." Thyre looks back at Effie. Effie nods to her and walks by her and says, If you can, a fire arrow in the air, anything, we'll see it and we'll come running as soon as we can." Thyre nods, and she's also going to walk off in an opposite direction of you guys, looking for cover.
Does Rahiman need help walking? Because if he does, I'll lend him a shoulder.
Rahiman looks like he needs all of the help, but he's just, as you do, he's just like pushing you aside, and he's like, "No, fine, fine." Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm still gonna try. Take his arm over my shoulder, and help him.
All right, roll me an athletics check, wrestling with him.
Let's see.
Don't worry, he has disadvantage.
Athletics. Yeah. Aww.
And he still managed to beat you with a 7.
Aww.
Wow. So yeah, you guys are gonna see Urkus like this just feeble ranger just wrestling with this gargantuan of a man. And every time Urkus is able to get like any leeway on him, you know, Rahiman's just one arm pushes Urkus's face off, and this looks like nothing more than a slacking contest of like tiddlywinks. But you know.
Okay, I'll give up after a second try. I'll be like, all right.
All right. But otherwise, the rest of the party heads north behind Draelos.
Yeah, that is what House is doing. Not coughing like the other two.
Well, I would say, wouldn't we need to wait a second so that Tristan can meditate? Or does he need to stay, or can he move while meditating? Well, can he be carried while he's meditating?
He only needed 3 minutes to just, like, dump everything he has and just like, "God, please let me rest."
You guys should maybe go half the distance to the fires, because I'm gonna scope it out and come back.
After the meditation, I want to cast Lesser Restoration on myself to cleanse my disease.
Alright, it was a magical disease that you had, and the Lesser Restoration is going to clear all of its effects up. You feel the burning in your throat dissipate, and it takes like a few seconds, but eventually you feel the rest of your body, like everything that was causing, your body starts to speed up again, your mind's unfogged, everything becomes a little bit easier for you.
I was just going to ask for some of that good stuff too, please.
I would motion towards Raheem and say, "Hey, can you help this dude out?"
Would that I could, but I'm exhausted for spells today. It's going to be great.
Alright.
Any able body is good for the moment.
Alright, so I'm... Hold on. I can't remember names. Oh god. I'm not going to immediately follow Draelos. I would say, like, stay like half a mile away from him so he can scout.
Alright. So we're going to fast forward a little bit to the party taking a just kind of a little spot in the field that they can, that, you know, where the land slopes down would be about the most cover you guys can get. You are north of the road, south of the woods. and far north from the rocky outcropping that was the dungeon exit. Drelos, on the other hand, you are going to pull towards. Are you going to get closer towards this?
To the camps.
Yes. You can see there are.
Oh wow, that's failure.
All right. You can see though. Let me pull this up. Butts. Awful. Just awful. You can see there are some people camping here. They seem pretty rowdy. They have several large sleeping beasts.
Well, before we get to that investigation check was for my surroundings on the way to the campfire.
Okay. Your surroundings. This is an abandoned field. Like that is what you're able to deduce from that.
I wasn't sure if there was any additional stuff on my way there because landscape could change. I might recognize something.
No. This region that you guys are in, you can assume it's somewhat abandoned.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna see several figures. There are 4 that you can count from as close as you can get.
Or see anything? And like, do they look like they have lots of weapons, or are they just passing by?
Do you have dark vision, and what is your passive
perception? Dark vision 60. Dark vision 60. What was the other part?
What is your passive perception?
Where would I see that?
I can pull it up for you. It's on your
the bottom of your skills.
Yeah.
Like under your,
I have 4 perception.
Okay, so getting these guys into your dark vision, moving closer while they look humanoid. As you get closer to them, they don't at all look human. They
Do I know what they are?
From what you can tell, you can't see colors, but looking at their face, they're very hound-like. You can roll any type of insight, but yeah, that's about everything you can make out from in the darkness. You're gonna see one tilt up its nose and start looking in several directions before it kind of looks in your direction.
I want to start heading back very stealthily. Should I do another stealth check for that?
You can keep rolling off, or your 20 stands until, you know, something else would cause you to make another stealth check. It seems one has noticed you. You can try a different stealth check to, you know, just like drop down, crawl away, or something like that. This thing hasn't found you, but it does. It is aware of your presence.
I'm just going to not antagonize and start moving away and try and just hope that he doesn't really pay attention.
Alrighty. And I said there were 4 of them. They also have 3 beasts with them. And all of these things are just, you know, big, like distant gray blobs that you're able to make out as you got closer and closer and closer. Just putting the first few, though, into your vision, that's what you're able to notice about them. Yeah, the rest of the party is the rest of the party's camped out a good distance behind you, and it's gonna, take you a little while, like moving. It's gonna take you a little while moving back in the direction towards your party. It doesn't appear that they are following you. You do get back to your party, though.
I immediately tell them that there are 4 helmed head-like humanoids that are following me, and that they seem that we should be on high alert and ready. Arm ourselves.
Are these creatures like sound familiar to me? Would I know maybe where they're located, where these type of things are found, or what they are?
You can roll an insight check off of his description, but it was not very good. He didn't get a good look at these things to describe them to you either.
They seem to be driven on scent as well. They seem to have figured me out fast enough.
So I want to roll that insight check.
Okay. You guys are all going to start rolling start thinking on this, racking your memories for it. The most anybody can come up with is probably werewolves. Howzik comes to the conclusion there's no lycanthropes would likely be in their werewolf form under a full moon, and there is not one here.
Are werewolves common around the world, or are they in one particular area generally?
They're rumored around the world. Most of them have been killed off.
I arm myself with both my daggers and poison my non-Valpyr fire dagger.
I'm going to summon that magical spear as my pack weapon and then attempt to hide in the shadows.
I'm also going to try and hide.
How far are we from the camp?
Is it considered diplomacy?
Mm-hmm. Effie, who is they are still where you guys saw them originally. It's hard for me to tell you guys what's going on with them that your party member hasn't relayed to you.
How far are we from the camp?
You guys are still about halfway between the. You guys are halfway between the camp and the dungeon exit.
We're about half a mile away from the camp.
Yeah, from what you guys can see, they have not moved in your direction.
Say we just go wide around them.
This is a great chance for me to sneak attack with assassinate.
Yet again, are we sure they're hostile?
I'd rather avoid them, honestly. I'm kind of tapped on my spells.
I mean, we can hide and wait and then see what they do. If they decide to attack us, or if they just decide to walk past us, we can just let them be.
I think they don't know that we're here. We're pretty far away still.
I'm all for avoiding combat right now. We are not at 100%.
I would like to glance through, glance into Shattertooth as I stand and approach in the direction that Ericus has indicated.
Drayless, yeah.
Okay.
So Brandon, let me ask you this real quick. Are werewolves known just to be murderous monsters, or are they a civilization? Are they known to be diplomatic at all?
It was a curse caused from a religious war several hundred years ago. There was a reason they were killed off.
Okay. Yeah, I'd rather not encounter them.
What's that reason? Because you have to remember, you're dealing with a man who also had lots of people killed off for religious reasons. I'm not a murderous were-monster.
What are you?
Dun dun dun.
In transition, and Roman
I'm actually
is now
a
the
were-drake.
It was never me. It was Roman.
But anyways, for Tristan, walking with the mirror, how close are you getting to this camp?
Only as far as I would need to be able to see something with to see with the mirror what exactly we're dealing with here.
So, the properties of scrying, I believe, if you can see the area, you can also scry on it. But for Tristan, you'd have to get super close to this camp because his vision range is. You'd have to get within the light reflecting off the mirror.
I'm gonna ask Tristan, what are you trying to do exactly?
If you want backup, I'll flank out there with you.
Tristan, what are you looking for? Tristan, can you hear me?
For the most part.
You just want to eavesdrop on them?
Not so much as that. Tristan will shake his head and put away the mirror, and then begin walking back towards our camp.
I was going to say, if you have a plan, I could polymorph you into something that would allow you to get close to him, but that's my last 4th level. That's my last most powerful spell I can cast, so I want to use it for a good reason.
If you guys, by the way, for Tristan, I just read the scrying text. If you've seen an area before, you can cast scrying on it without it rolling any type of thing.
Can me and him sneak over there just in the line of sight
Tristan
and then
can
run
see
back?
the area from here. You
Oh,
can
okay.
see the fire.
So you should be able to start from right there, right?
Yeah, maybe I don't need to be quite that close, though.
Do you want to cast scrying?
Sure, but again, we don't need to be this close to the camp if I'm going to be casting scrying. After all, scrying has a considerable casting time.
So, question: did you sneak up on the camp and figure out what they were? I missed that part.
He tried. One noticed him. Before doing anything else, Dralos decided to retreat.
This is where we're gonna live.
Yeah, we think werewolves.
Oh, I was talking about Tristan. I thought he was sneaking up there with the mirror.
No. Tristan stood up and started walking in the direction, and then turned around.
So they noticed him, and we've been sitting here for a while, and I'm guessing a perception check to see if there's anybody in the vicinity before I finish the statement.
We're like half a mile away still.
Yeah. I'll roll you that perception check, but yeah, nothing. It doesn't seem like they're after you guys. From what you can see, nothing seems to be chasing after you.
Alright, I'm going to unsummon my pack weapon and go in there with my hands up and ask them if,
half-mile away.
while I'm going over there, and say I need healing and if they are willing to help.
I'm going to follow shortly behind them with both my daggers drawn just in case it goes south.
Alright.
Also, Hazel's not coughing anymore. My goddess at least did that for me.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that the coughing has stopped. So you are going to get to these creatures.
Are we following him then, or are we just gonna let him die?
wait. Did Dralos go with him again?
Yeah, I'm following behind him. ready to kill if it goes south.
All of them. I want Dralos to live at least.
If we fight, I'm just swinging a sword, and I'm not good with swords.
All right.
I'm not going.
So the party minus Urkus, Actually, Effie and Effie's gonna stay behind with you, and Rahiman is going to also stay behind with you, just like looking relieved to finally sitting and resting. And then, like as Housick walks off, he's gonna be like, "Sister will never let me live it down if he dies."
So who's going? Who's going to this thing?
Yeah, and he gets up and starts following behind the party. Effie is flipping through what appears to be a different book than what she was holding before. Anyways, the rest of the party. Housick is going to get close to these things, getting them within his dark vision and making out their forms. Getting closer as these things look back at him. They're going to definitely notice him approaching. Is anybody else going to be rolling a stealth check or anything, or are you guys just walking a good distance behind Housick, like just openly?
Wait, so who's all going? Who's not going?
So far, I have everybody going except for Urkus and Effie.
Yeah.
Alright, if everybody's going, I'll go too.
Alright, so as you guys step into the... Housick steps into the light, these things have already noticed you, and they're moving towards you. And what is Housick saying as he's approaching? Jordan?
Sorry, forgot about the push to talk. I hold my hands up and I say, "We mean you no harm. We have sick people and we were wondering if you could help. Also, I'd like to know if I can recognize their race to know if I need to speak in a different language."
Yeah, once they get closer, I was just saying if you're the first one to talk or if, you're going to let them talk, but as they get closer, you're definitely going to recognize them. These things are like... are kind of like hyena jackal people. They don't look like any werewolf that you've seen. And as they get closer, they start yipping and cackling at you, going...
Fantastic.
Does anyone have some super high charisma and or persuasion?
No.
I assumed that I was rolling a persuasion check when I made those comments.
All right. Let's see. Yeah. So they're going to start wardingly circling around Housick. The three of them have a spear, and one looks a little bulkier than the other two. There's another one still sitting by the fire who stands up. He is he looks to be covered in blood as he as he stands. The three around Housick start poking Housick with their spear, saying,
The one that was
I'm assuming they're motioning me towards the leader, and I am complying 100% willingly.
The one that's bloody, is that the leader?
You can assume so. It is very hard to know what they're trying to do. They are just circling around you. They're just circling around you, just, poking these spears in every which direction. As Housick takes a step forward, one of them is going to open his mouth viciously at you and start barking and just go, "Rah! Rah! Rah!" And he is
Alright, I take a step back.
Yeah, he's going to take an attack at Housick. He's going to miss, but Housick definitely knows it is a warding action.
Is it possible for me to sneak up and kill the leader right now? Assassinate?
Oh god.
You can try.
Oh please don't.
Once again, Alzik is like trying to get help. I am like not trying to be the distraction to kill people.
I'll hold off for a second.
The one standing over the fire has taken out a blanket, and you guys see him. Fluffing it on and off of the fires. It appears that he is sending some signal.
Well, goddamn Jackal Village.
Wait, I got a question. How can anybody see this message in the dark when it's with smoke?
That's what I was about to ask.
You see a black silhouette of a cloud going up in the sky.
Now close range fires, you can see smoke just a little bit as it's obscuring like the stars and the night sky, just a little bit. In the distance, you guys can see there are more of these fires around the edge of the forest. They're spaced out pretty much so that there's only like maybe 3 or 4 in your vision.
Okay, Brandon. Whenever you said there's one fire by us, I want to use prestidigitation and snuff that fire out whenever he tries to smoke signal off.
Okay, it is a campfire. Can prestidigitation put out an entire campfire?
It's
small campfire.
Yeah, it's the where is it?
Second bullet point.
Yeah, second one.
Alrighty. So you guys are going to see him, fanning his blanket over this thing. It comes up and the fire is gone. He holds the blanket above his head and leans down, sniffing the rocks. And then he sniffs them more intensely, and he looks up at the one circling around you and goes, They look back and go,
This is a great idea.
I'm just saying it's not a bad idea for me to kill it.
Stay with Urkith.
The one is,
I have good ideas sometimes.
Yeah, one is going to kind of like it's weird how these things run. While they have 2 feet, they kind of put their 2 hands down and just like scoot themselves forward, almost like running on 4, but mostly on 2. And they're gonna.
They're kind of Velociraptor style.
Yeah, and they're going to, they're going to like run, like four-legged person style, to Alo, just 2 of them, and the 2 with spears are going to start circling around Alo, pointing to the fire and say,
I want to.
This is quality voice acting here tonight, guys.
I love this entire encounter right now, guys, because this is us trying to talk to people who obviously do not have a high enough intelligence to be talking to us.
I want to cast light on my sword and have I draw it.
No, gnolls do have an intelligence capable of learning languages. It's just that that language is Gnoll.
Yeah, they are clearly communicating with each other.
I'm just gonna draw my sword and cast light on it and just kind of hold it out, kind of defensively, and just hope to distract them with it, hope to catch their attention with it.
I'm going to turn to the rest of the party and go, can we stop antagonizing these people? They are trying to help us.
I'm trying to impress them with magic. I'm trying to make them think that I'm some type of superpower.
Roll me a performance check.
Alright, I'm not skilled in performance. Yeah.
I mean, that could have gone way worse.
One is going to move behind you, and he's going to turn his spear around and start butting the blunt end into your back, pushing you forward.
I'm gonna go forward. Why not?
Alright, he keeps leading you forward, past the campfire.
Where is
As long as I'm not moving
Who's
like...
interested in Roman while this is happening?
Is he moving me towards the leader guy?
Yeah, you guys have seen these 2 gnolls out of the pack of 4 come and move and remove Alo from your numbers.
Is he moving me towards the leader or like out into the darkness?
He moves you past the leader in towards the forest. As he does, he yips at one of the large resting beasts. It stands tall 4 feet, and it is a massive wolf.
I'm going
to kind of
by the leader.
keep
I'm not going to go out
behind them and out the distance just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to stay with the party somewhat. I'm going to go out into the darkness alone. I'm going to stay by the leader if I can.
The knoll leading you points to the forest and says, he gestures at his mouth.
I was going to say, does anybody speak common?
I would like to insight that.
Roll me an insight check. Oh, okay, you did roll me an insight check. The knoll is incapable of communicating with you. Maybe there's someone in the forest who is. You ask him if anybody speaks common. He responds with
I'm not going out by myself. I'm going to stay with everybody. So if they want to come, we can go.
Try speaking in Infernal.
Oh gosh. You can try speaking in Infernal. Let me see if this other one knows how to speak Infernal.
If I recall correctly, gnolls speak Abyssal, not Infernal.
Yeah, there is
a thing that Tristan would try.
Yeah.
What
yeah, so you
what
can...
would Abyssal be in this world? Is Abyssal called Abyssal in this world, or is it a different?
Yeah, it'd be Abyssal.
Okay. Like I speak Scattered and Fire Spawn. That's not going to apply here.
So, you guys do not comply with these gnolls?
Do you comply?
Halzik has been 100% compliant with these gnolls. Everybody else has been antagonizing them.
Oh, but fuck you.
Okay, everybody...
I've actually been less antagonizing than you!
I haven't been attacking, I've just been hanging out in the shadows.
Okay, the magic users are being antagonizing, and Halzik is being passive and cooperating and asking for help.
I'm just going to say they want to lead me out into the woods. Does anybody want to go out there? I'm not going alone.
I'll hang out in the shadows, but you don't know that. Because I'm not, like, actually shouting it at you.
Also, what's my current situation?
Your current situation? There is one gnoll standing in front of you with his spear raised, not letting you step forward. The other gnoll led Alo forward. There is one gnoll standing by the party now. He doesn't seem aggressive. He's just kind of like looking at you guys, tilting his head sideways and occasionally sniffing you. The gnoll by the fire, covered in blood, you're going to see him look at all of this. Finally, yip a couple of times of just and then he howls into the night. The three beasts all get up. The one that was nearest to Alo, the gnoll that's by you, is going to grab its collar and start and hop onto its back, spear raised. The gnoll nearest the fire is going to grab what appears to be a satchel, hop onto the back of one, and the third beast is going to come by running by Halzik, and the gnoll nearest Halzik hops on, grabs the one closest to the party, and they ride off onto the road.
I want to follow them.
They are moving significantly faster than you.
I loot the campsite.
It appears that they took with them everything of value. You can see maybe a couple trinkets left behind. The blanket is still here. A couple pieces of like hunted game are also still here, and some makeshift hunting equipment.
Has it been cooked?
It was cooking. It's probably cooked enough to eat, but the fire is snuffed out.
Alright,
Do they all leave? Are they all gone?
Yes, they have all left.
We need to go back.
I take their spit roast with whatever meat was on it, and I munch on it along the way.
I also head back and am deeply disappointed in everybody failing to help with my attempt to get help.
I was like, this is why we're gonna kill you in your sleep.
In consolation, I tear off a morsel of the meat that I'm eating and hand it to Hauzik.
All right. So
I graciously take it and say thank you.
As you guys are
still following
heading
after
back, swapping over to the other party members, Effie and
I'll be right back.
Effie and Urkus.
So how'd it go?
Well, no.
That's what I'd like to ask.
Yeah, they're not back. While they're gone.
I thought you said they were back. Okay, never mind.
Effie has been flipping through a book that she did not have earlier. As she looks up in the distance at the party, seemingly being harassed by these figures, she's gonna close it and look to Urkus and say, "Should we help?"
We haven't heard any screams of pain yet, so maybe things are working out?
She nods, and the fire goes out over at the campsite. You guys can no longer see what's happening with the rest of the party. Effie, continuing to look through the book, is going to flip to a page and say, "Oh,
What do you have there? That's not a book you normally had. Or I'm sorry, you said it's, I would say that's not a book you had before."
She tosses the satchel that she was carrying with her to Urkus and says, "This was Mother's stuff. I saw it inside of there, and it appears she was keeping a journal."
Mother?
She shakes her head and says, "Stila."
Ah. Freudian slip there. Alright, so this is her satchel. So I'll ask her what's interesting that she saw in the book, or journal, or diary, or whatever it is.
She's going to look to the distance. The rest of the party, still isn't here. And then, she's going to look back towards the direction Thyri went off to hide in. And then she's going to turn around the book to Urkus. Urkus does have dark vision, and
Yep.
he is going to see a page of just completely all types of formulas and ciphers on it, but across the top of the page, there is a sentence that has been written, and it says, "I never considered unraveling codes unlocked." And across the page, this sentence has been dissected in maybe 50 different ways.
So it turned out of that prophecy, or whatever that was.
And she's going to nod and say yes. And I always thought she was the brightest among us, but apparently she didn't solve it either.
I wonder if that's what led her to be caught.
Effie is going to stand up and say the best way is to ask her. And she's going to look at Urkus and say, can't you tracked by the stars or something?
Hold on, let me see if I can.
For the record, I'm still chasing the werewolves or the gnolls.
Alrighty.
So he's just kind of running and getting nowhere.
Yeah, they are going to be super outpacing you.
Like,
All right, then.
like
Eventually, I
foot
start
race
coming
with
back.
Ferrari.
Yeah, their mounts serve as essentially, war horses. So you can try and sprint keeping up with the horse, but it's eventually going to outpace you.
It was worth a try.
Okay, so back to Effie. Ask me if I can track by the stars. I would say not really. I was looking up. I'm assuming nothing looks familiar. Like they did that nature check, and the world, like the trees
plants,
and everything didn't look familiar. The plants didn't look familiar. So
now,
if I look up at the sky, is it cloudy or can I see stars?
You can see stars. The stars look exactly the same as in Ililnagai.
Okay. So yeah, I'll let her know that. All right. So the trees and the plants don't seem familiar, but stars do. So I honestly have no idea where we are.
Oh god, that's beautiful. Like, oh yeah, I can, but nope, nothing. Got nothing.
I can tell us that we are probably not. There's a 50% chance we're not in Heimdall, but I'd have never been there, so I don't know if there's any difference.
All right. Effie is going to nod and say, well, actually, she'd been reading for most of the time the interaction with the party was going on. So, as this conversation's like, finishing up and, Urkus is like studying around him and stuff, you guys are going to see the party in the distance, kind of like, as just blurry figures entering your vision again. You can hear the heavy sounds of footprint of mounts, running. The heavy sounds of like what sounds like a whole stampede of creatures. They are moving. They are moving eastward.
I want to hide.
Or I'm sorry, they're moving westward.
They're going westward, so they're significantly north of us and heading west.
Yeah. You guys saw the gnolls. Which direction they headed off? They headed off west on the road.
And Effie and I are just hearing them leaving.
Yeah, you guys see the party going back. Effie is going to stand up looking towards them. The party is all back together, except minus Thyri.
So I'll look at the too soon. It's a lot of too soons. I would say so. I'm guessing things didn't work out.
We basically just had a conversation with a pack of dogs. So, no, it didn't go well.
Effie is going to roll insight. And she's going to say, Knowles?
Sure.
Yeah, it probably would have gone better, but some people decided to be mean and snuck and use magic, and it spooked them, and they ran.
This was after.
Also fails to mention that they don't speak common, so it was pretty much doomed from the start. Probably a good thing that we didn't actually have to throw punches.
Yeah, they were pretty hostile.
Effie's gonna say, we're definitely on Galkin. There's no recorded tribes of gnolls on Cedal, at least not in Ililnagai.
Well, that means the stars are the same in Galkin.
Alright, Brandon, as we're kind of just hanging out here, I want to use my familiar and send it up 100 feet into the air and look through its eyes and trying to look for anything that looks familiar, like on a map, like that little inlet, you know, just kind of east of Heimsdale or
Alrighty.
Island, anything familiar.
So,
I'm assuming we're setting up camp here. Elzik wants to just go to bed.
Okay. Yeah, you guys can set up camp. Sending your bird up, you can see that there is more civilization and more of these fires around the south side of this forest. The forest extends northwards and southwards, northwest and south east.
So we're in like a field right around in the forest, are we?
Yes.
Okay. Could we see the forest from where we're at?
Yeah, you guys can see the forest from where you are. Sending your bird up, each one of these tiles is 45 miles. So, you know, 100, 200 feet up, you know, at most you're going to be able to see, you might be able to get one whole tile in your view, but at nighttime you wouldn't be able to see everything in that tile. But, you know, you can see the tiny specks of light of these fires around this forest.
How many of these? They're like a camp size, right?
Yeah, on the south side of the forest, these are kind of like stars on the ground. Just as far as how many of them are. They're all spaced out close to each other. You can see on the southeastern side of the forest, there are significantly less of them. Starting with the one that you guys put out.
And how far are they from us, roughly?
All of them?
Yeah, like the closest couple.
Yeah, the closest one's a half a mile, but each one's going to be about roughly a mile.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just mention to everybody what I'm seeing and see if anybody has any ideas on what they want to do.
We should probably just wait until the morning. You know, we can't make a lot out at night, and
being a half elf, I just need to meditate, so I can just meditate a little while and then keep watch on everyone.
I don't need a full night's sleep. Would be nice, but
yeah, I do.
I'm out of that, at least physically okay.
All right. So you guys set up camp for the night?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Who is taking, are you guys setting up watches, or are you guys just going to bed?
Watches.
Watch.
Tristan's taking first watch, who's taking second?
I'll take second.
I'll take second. Or, yeah.
Okay.
Whatever.
Third.
Alright,
I'll
Drelo
take fourth.
second, alright, Urkus, fourth, Alo, third.
Draelus will take a shift in there somewhere.
You guys don't know how long it is to morning. Do you want to set up beyond, you have 8 hours of watches. I'm assuming each person's taking 2 hours.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I mean, I can take a fifth watch if it's still not.
Okay. Alright. So, the, Effie, does not seem to, sleep at all, in the evening. It is also very warm, where you guys are at. The night itself is, temperate. So, you wouldn't have to worry about cold weather or, you know, like super harsh weather pushing you guys out. Effie, however, even though she's not sleeping, she seems pretty much engaged in the book she's reading.
Yeah, no, let her do that.
At the top of the night, though, she would be talking to Tristan. And with Effie and Tristan awake, it's kind of an awkward, silence going on before she finally says, "I'm sorry about your friend. I would have counseled her more if I'd known what she was going through." She says this the whole time looking down at her book.
Tristan grunts non-committally.
She is not going to push the conversation any more than that. Drelos's watch passes by uneventfully. So does Alo's.
Hey Brian, just real quick before we all go to sleep, in the loot for that dungeon we went through, you said there was a ring of spell storing?
Yes, I don't know who grabbed it.
Yeah, who? Does anybody know who got that?
I think it was Alo.
Okay.
I think Halsey ended up with it because I grabbed the ring with a gem on it.
Oh yeah, you did. How's it at it?
Okay, I was just gonna say I can cast some spells into it. I'd rather do that before I go to sleep so I can get them all back. Depending on who wants it, I might want to put different spells, but I can.
Halsey would want it because I cast maximum of 2 spells per day.
Okay.
He's agreed. He did.
You can take 5 levels, so I think maybe like Misty Step at level 2, and then maybe 3 Shield for level 1s would probably be good for a melee combatant. But if you have a different preference, I can do that.
Well, I can cast Blink into it, but I only have level 4 spell slots.
Oh, well, you could do a Blink at level 4, and then I could do another level 1, or I have invisibility, I have counterspell.
Do you have Cure Wounds?
I have Healing Word.
Man, I would love invisibility.
Healing Word's broke, so obviously better than Cure Wounds.
Yeah, that's on a bonus action.
Bonus action at distance. Good for keep somebody from dying.
Yeah, so give me that, and we'll put Blink in there.
Okay, 1 Healing Word.
Alrighty. Alo's watch passes uneventfully. However, at the top of, or rather near the end of Alo's watch, you guys have only gotten 6 hours of sleep. The sun begins coming up. The sun is, and Urkus is going to notice this as he's taking his watch. The sun is coming up from the, what to you guys would be the northwest, just as it always does in Ilil Nagai. Urkus's watch. Urkus's.
I make a strength check to roll back over.
Yeah, you guys can keep
do well.
You guys can keep sleeping through the early morning. But Urkus's watch, however, there is going to be a group of riders, what appears to be people on wargs, and what seems to be just huge, colossal, vicious feline creatures. They are running on the road in your guys' direction.
Do I recognize these types of cats?
Say it again.
Do I recognize these cats?
Are they Savannah's family?
Yeah, I was about to say, Drelos would be sleeping. A half-elf does need 8 hours of rest.
Well, a half-elf, doesn't he just meditate?
This is the end of Urkus's?
No, it's just regular rest.
Yeah, this is Urkus's.
Well, Urkus is number 4, so he'd be the 8th hour. That's why.
Yeah, the completion of Urkus's watch is the 8th hour.
Alright, do
Urkus, do you wake us up?
You guys should be able to hear it, right?
No, we are asleep. We cannot hear that.
Yeah, they're not stealthy. You can notice them, but it's not an overwhelming thing. It's just kind of like a padoop, 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 padoop. Like a very...
I would start shaking some people up,
Alright, Brandon, I just need 4 hours, so I get my full sleep, right?
I'm a high elf. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna roll my 2d20 for the portent ability. Oh, sweet.
Those are dope.
Those are perfect.
Alrighty.
I finished the. So that counts as a short rest at the very least, right?
Yes. I didn't know Alo was a high elf. I thought you were a wood elf.
No, I'm a Lildor. That's high elf, right?
Yes. Alright. Yes. That is something I needed to know long ago. I have had you down as a wood elf, this entire time. I will talk to you after the session about that.
Alright.
Because there's a lot of things we need to go over then.
Okay.
Alrighty. Yeah, so, Urkus and, Alo would be awake at this. Effie, would also be awake. However, you guys can see she is, pretty frazzled at this point in the, morning. Her red hair is everywhere, and she seems frustrated with the book that, has her, complete attention.
Okay, I'll start waking people up and tell Effie, hey Effie, look alive, we got company.
She's
at this point I want to look at the kitties.
Oh, they're so close to full rest. You guys are gonna send me into the waiting arms of Aldora.
Alright, what appears to be oh gosh, I gotta go grab my notes real quick on this. It's not episode 9, it's episode 10. Alright, what appears to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 riders come to your guys' campsite. They all have either lances, pole arms, or some long weapon. The riders. Yes.
Are they humanoid?
Yes, I'm describing them to you. The riders themselves all look humanoid, completely in figure. Most of them are heavily armored. Those that aren't are covered in robes from head to toe, and wearing masks. They circle around your camp.
What about their shoulders and knees?
Also covered. They circle around your camp, and one is going to step forward. And let's pull this out right here.
They sound kind of like my old stomping ground.
Oh god, are we getting Elgan?
Brandon, real quick.
Yes.
What's the status on my spell slots?
This does not interrupt your guys' long rests as long as you don't do anything. Anything
like casting a spell.
Yeah, anything stressful or like exerting during it.
Alright, time to go stab someone.
Alright.
How about we wait?
No.
Wait. How's it supposed to hand the moment he sees him move and go, let's hear this out
We're
first?
overreacting at what was clearly a joke. That makes the joke funnier.
You can never know.
Such faith in me, though.
You.
We
No,
don't
can't trust anyone.
You
Can't trust anyone.
for too long.
Yeah.
It is a death wish.
We're still in Alilna guy, right?
Man, we don't even know anymore.
Yeah,
don't
you
know
guys don't know. These people walk up to you, and one steps forward and says, "We bring the sight of the eternal eye, and the wrath of the undying empress of the darkened veil, Delafir of the New World, and her personal guard, the Agram Guard. What banners do you fly?"
We're in the Darkened Veil?
We're in the darkened veil.
Darkened Veil?
What was
This is when I step forward and mention that I am Darkened Veil and that I am traveling on a mission right now.
Drelos is once again from a Lil Nagai with his sister Mealy.
God dang it.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, wait.
That's called a deception check.
Yeah, you can make a deception check if you want.
What was it?
I will take that back. Well, can I blow? No,
Yeah,
I'm not
you can.
gonna try.
You can make a deception check. Again, the woman speaking says, "What banners do you fly?"
What was the?
Housing steps up and go. As you can see, we have no banners. We are travelers. They got lost, and we are. Some of us are currently sick and would like to seek attention.
What?
Loss is an understatement.
From Seedale.
What did Alo ask?
What did you say the lady's name was? They said they surf.
They said they bring the wrath of the Undying Empress.
Can I roll history on that?
That's Elizabeth.
Undying history?
Oh no.
Yeah, you can roll history.
She's cool. She's the cool sister.
Hey.
Oh wait.
Yeah, it is a name well spoken around the world, as she is very much hated. It is the Undying Empress is Olivia, or I'm sorry, not Olivia, Elizabeth the Redeemed, the sister of Olivia.
Oh, thank
she's
God.
the whole reason the Terrai are still alive right now.
Are they like friendly sisters? Do they hate each other? Do I know that?
They fucking hate each other.
Yeah, on a
Elizabeth
13.
betrayed Olivia.
Yeah, on a 13, there was a. I mean, they don't get along, but most of the world doesn't like either of them. So, you know, enemies of my enemies of my enemies of my enemies are my enemies.
She's not Olivia. She's not Olivia, so she's cool with me.
I'll just say that we wound up here. We were fighting Olivia.
I want my statement to go first before he says that, because I don't want him to say Olivia's name.
I'm gonna say it anyway at some point.
Someone's big mouth is gonna go.
Yeah. At
You can interrupt me if you want to stop me, but
yeah.
I don't think
At
it's bad.
Howzett's statement of, you know, hey, we have sick and wounded. The person on the warg in front of you is going to say, the Agram Guard bring only death and fear.
That's nice.
So you don't bring clerics, is what I'm hearing.
Like,
I draw my weapons behind my back.
When I say we were fighting Olivia, does anybody stop me, or did
yeah,
they?
yeah, I'm gonna shut you up. Like, can we not? Obviously, the fear and the death.
So we were fighting. I stop.
Yeah. Again, they say, what banners do you fly? Rahiman is going to step forward and say, Tixel! 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 She is,
Last name is Radafir in her law alt name.
She's going to, look at Rahiman and say, you're far from your lands, giant. He nods.
That's an understatement.
He nods and says, I knew not where we were. She looks at the party again and says, be wary, Archflight have landed on these shores. We hunt them.
Fantastic.
Thanks for the tip.
Can you possibly point us in the direction of a town?
Or a port.
Yeah. That would pretty much help us a lot.
They are getting ready to ride off as you say that, but one of them is going to... The one that was stopping is going to stop and look and say, Bridget, come here. A person trods over and says, give me your map. She pulls a scroll off of the barding of her ward and hands it to her she trots over to Urkus and points at a map and says, we ride south to the town of Murkwaters on the Empress's orders. And she's going to, if you look to the other map, she's going to point to an area south of a forest and say, you can find your way to Fort Firerise, straight north around this forest. It's in the hands of the Darkened Veil currently.
Is that green or red currently?
Well, which green?
I will do them in different colors. The blue circle that I'm going to draw in un secondo. She said they are headed south to the town of Murkwaters.
That's where we are on the map.
You guys, she pointed to the green area and said you guys can head north from here to Fort Firerise.
Gotcha.
All right. I will thank her.
That confuses me. Wouldn't that be east?
Northeast.
Shh! Don't insult the nice lady.
That's just internal. I might just have our geography wrong.
Northeast. At least we know where we are.
Which is not that far from Armsdale.
Now I'm even more confused, but...
Alright, I put my weapons away once they're out of vantage.
Alright,
yeah,
so once
they
are
off from your guys' camp.
So I'll turn to the others and say, well, we came to Galkin. Like we originally planned. Oh,
yeah, we
man.
came here on a boat.
Well, this was a lot faster. Let's get on the road and avenge my kitty. I am John.
Let's go.
Rahiman, still coughing, is going to be like, we should head far east, bank around the forest, and head north.
Right.
How's it says the best point, the shortest distance is straight.
Northeast.
Yeah, I say we can go around the forest. It won't have that much time.
No, but is he pointing us in a different direction than what they just told us?
He said, let's
I think
see.
he's saying go to Hinesdale.
Yeah, he said go like that.
North. He just wants to
I guess
avoid
we could rest. and finish.
Okay. Yeah, I would say, since one of you is up, like I said, if anybody wants to finish up the lookout, and I'll go let, can't remember her name.
Effie?
Thyri.
No, let Thyri know where we're at.
Oh yeah, really.
Does anybody want to take the last part?
Yeah, I said that I had the last.
All right.
Oh. All right, I'll leave it to Roman and go find Thyri.
I'll go with him.
Okay. You guys roll me an investigation check. Thyri is currently hiding.
So I finished my long rest, right?
Yeah, you guys do finish your long rest. And you guys are going to find Thyri's hiding spot pretty easily. She's
She didn't escape my not specialized.
Yeah. She is lodged. She is lodged on another one of these rocks to the south, lining one of the roads that break off from this path. And she is sleeping between it, but it has a good vantage point right at the other rocky outcropping. She is asleep as you guys come by.
I'll leave him to wake her up.
Okay. Oh, okay. I didn't. You guys spoke at the same time. Yeah. She's gonna wake up and say, "Huh? I watched all night. It didn't come out."
You did a great job. We're all very proud of you. Let's go.
And she rubs her eyes and says, "But Anita and Tessia, and
You want to stay here?
She nods and says, "I'll watch for a couple more hours, and I can catch up with you guys. I move quicker than Rahiman."
Okay, we are. I'll tell her where we're at and where we're gonna go and the name of the town and stuff.
I'm gonna ask her if she knows of the town. Does she know where it's at? I can find it from here.
She nods and says, "Wait, we're in the southern part of. We're near Rahiman's tribe."
That's right.
And she shakes her head and says, "I've never been there, but I can find it from the stories."
Yeah,
neither have we, but
I just make sure she has an idea of where to go, and we'll head back, I think.
The darkened veil.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, you guys head north. Do you go straight through the forest, or do you take the route that Rahiman suggested?
Well, we've completed our long rest, so as JD so succulently put, can he heal the 2 chuckle fucks?
Yes.
Yeah, can that be a thing?
It is a magical sickness, and its effects would have some lasting damage after a full night's rest, but removed disease could still cure it. You can go ahead and cast Luster Restoration if you want. It's going to take 2 castings, one for each of the 2 peeps.
Right.
All right. Rahiman feels great at the removal of this blight, and Howzik, the other ailments plaguing him are going to disappear as this baleful magic that's injected itself inside of you guys has been dispersed.
Thank God. Thank you.
All right.
You're welcome.
Do you guys head straight north, or do you take Rahiman's suggested path?
I would say take Rahim.
Talk without, trying to spit up a lung. I'd like to ask, why that way instead of the other way?
Rahiman is going to say, I don't like going home very much.
Do you have any comrades there that could help us? More the merrier. We're about to fight someone scary.
Oh, I'd say we avoid fighting and get the person we came to get.
Wait, who knows who's gonna show up there?
I heard the second half of that statement. What was the first half?
Who knows who's gonna be there? So we should stock up with as many comrades as we can.
Effie is going to nod behind Dralos and say, once we get into the Darkened Vale, I'll be fine. But if we're traveling through the desert, you guys are going to need supplies. If there's a village, we have to stop in it.
Is the Earthfire that far away?
It's all hexagons.
Yeah, Effie doesn't know this region. She's gonna look at Rahiman. Rahiman's going to say, I've visited the Earthfire. It's at least a week's travel into the desert.
Okay. Supplies it is.
Hey guys, I'm going to be getting off here shortly because things are happening over here. So I will talk to you later.
All right. Enjoy your night.
Thanks for joining.
All right.
Do we know how long the resurrection process takes?
You asked.
I'll see your.
I'm asking you, Brandon. Is it something that we would know, our characters?
No, your characters don't know.
Right.
Okay.
Also, I'll see you're going and collecting supplies, and I'll raise you create food and water.
I also have 18 rations.
I have a decanter of this water.
Alrighty.
There's
Yeah.
less than 15 of us, so I'll just feed everybody with one spell slot a day.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
Alright, done deal.
Tastes good.
That is
I can-
a stupid spell.
Prestidigitation.
I love it.
It's delicious.
Yes.
It's bland food.
I did make a ruling on good berries. Give me
Good berry, yes.
Oh my
one,
god! I just prestidigitation would create food and water. Will give flavor to the food.
Yep, it's gonna be delicious.
I also have some rations to fill it out to give it an extra dish each meal. Just, just like fill it out.
I wish I picked desert as one of my natural explorer locations, but it just wouldn't fit my character.
Yeah, I am going to put a component cost on create food and water.
Boo.
Ooh.
Yeah, hey, you can't make something out of nothing.
It's magic.
I shouldn't have had that conversation with you.
Magic.
You can create food and water. It is going to drain the value of five gold pieces or a gemstone in your inventory each time you do it.
So you're just paying for it.
What about a pound of an ingot per day?
A pound of an ingot per day.
Yeah, because I have 500.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah, we do have some gold ingots.
Various
And other ingots. Various ingots.
It is.
I have.
It is
have a rock.
working. It is working kind of like the opposite of that. Of the detriment that when you touch something, it spoils and loses its value. So you can choose the ingot, but it will burn one entire ingot each time. And if the ingot is not of 5 gold pieces of value, then it's gonna need multiple ones.
Yeah,
That seems
alright,
fair to
I
me.
burned 5 gold.
Yeah. And essentially what this is you are kind of cursing yourself, and the next thing you touch loses the value. So
Right.
It's better than starving.
Alright. Let's start some traveling.
Alright, so
You do realize this is alchemy of the highest level. I'm essentially turning metal into food.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
are Full Metal Alchemist at its awesomest.
Well, it's better than turning air into food. So a little bit
better
more
perspective.
I
something.
disagree. I think turning air into food is far superior to turning valuable metals into food.
Well, yeah.
I like this shit gold, what can I say?
Anyways, though, is the decision just to head north straight through the desert?
Game on.
Yeah, I think
yes, but I motioned that we head to town regardless, so that we can unload some of these ingots in my inventory. I would like to, regain use of my bag of holding at some point.
Sounds good to me.
So, are we heading to the way Raheeman said?
Yes.
I guess so.
Around into town.
And I don't want to forget. Let's get.
All right. Raheeman can lead you guys if you let him, but he is going to begrudgingly do it. As
Well, hold on. He wanted us to head. Didn't he say that to go around into the town, or he wanted us to head straight east?
he wanted you guys
He wanted to avoid the forest.
Yeah, he wanted you guys to avoid the forest altogether.
Yeah, isn't that what we're doing?
The village. The village is on the edge of the forest.
He said he didn't want to go there. That was his whole hometown.
So okay. So he wanted us to just take an extremely long way around.
Yes.
It's fine with me.
We'll go to the same place.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with either.
That's
Is
the
there
way.
a reason why we need to take extra time? Like,
He doesn't want to go home.
It's probably a good reason why he doesn't want to go home. I don't want to push it.
Also, that's kind of the way we told Thyri we were taking. So.
Fine.
So, what's the decision? You guys going through the forest?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, going the way Raheem said to go.
Well, like, what's the difference in days, you know?
The difference in days, one is going to be 3 days. The other one is going to be a week and a half.
Ooh.
I'm gonna ask for him.
Give me a good reason why we can't go through that forest, Raheem.
Yeah, what is he afraid of there?
Raheeman is going to look down and say, they call me mean names.
I just watched somebody die, and a good friend is now in the clutches of this land's ruler. Sister.
I want to insight his reason.
Go ahead.
12?
I mean, looking at Raheeman, he is a man that aspires for glory. That is everything about his personality. Stepping on that probably does hurt his feelings.
Look, Raheem. Glory is internal. The only person that can judge you is Haldora, and that's after you die. So who cares what they say? I'm not spending a week and a half to spare your feelings.
Also, it's not like they fought Olivia and lived.
Yeah. You survived the shattering.
Yeah, I want to reassure him that we've seen him do some badass things, and if anybody has anything bad to say, we'll stand up and defend them and let them know what Raheeman has been doing the past week or two, however long we've been together.
Alright. Raheeman's gonna look a little, like, puffed up in the chest at you guys. And say, "Oh, this is good! This is very good! Yes! We'll bring pleasing satisfaction back to them and regale them with stories of greatness."
Exactly.
His word choice.
Alright, so, Raheem, leads you guys, straight north. It is about a day's travel, and as, nightfall is setting in, you guys are going to once again see, those fires start lighting up around the edge of the forest. And the whole time you've been scooting, circumventing, like, just walking the road that, lines this forest. And, as you guys are, as the nightfall is setting in, it's getting about late, Raheeman keeps telling you guys, like, if we just push ourselves, we'll get there, we'll be fine. These fires, are going to be few and far between. Where before you saw them at like, just looking in the distance, you could see, a handful of them. You might see one, marching, maybe once every other hour, and you guys march about 3 hours into sunset before finally you guys are going to enter the forest at the far eastern end, and there are going to and Raheem's going to lead you through past what appears to be a abandoned guard post, a stone tower that the forest has grown over. He leads you through a couple more of these before you get into a large clearing. And you can see the hovels of a village made of stone, and there are fires lit here. People moving in and out of these buildings that, you know, trees have grown over and moss has grown over. There's a couple like makeshift like new buildings in town, but the first thing that's going to be clearly evident to you is everybody here is about twice the size of Raheeman. And nearly...
It just clicked in my brain.
Yeah, nearly the 3 times the size of you guys.
Oh. Yeah, just look at all these people and just think, oh.
He's a small giant.
One person is going to... or one of these figures is going to stomp close to you guys and say, "Little ones, you're out of place here. This is the forest of Dixel." Raheeman's gonna look up and say, "I am Raheeman Dixel." Just this hulking, towering figure of a Goliath looks down at Raheeman, and he's clothed in long robes and kind of like an overcoat. Half of it's sewn together with fabric, half of it's sewn together with furs. But you don't need that much to keep warm here. He looks down at Raheeman, and just very slowly a smile is going to grow on his face, and he's going to say, "The runt's returned! This is good! You've brought satisfaction to this village this day." Raheeman's going to say, "I'm not a runt!"
Are you a tiny giant?
Raheeman is going to shake his head.
This explains a lot, actually.
He's going to shake his head and say, "No. We are Goliaths in service to giant."
Like, how big is Raheeman compared to the rest of us?
Raheeman is taller than all of you guys. He's probably like 6'8"-ish. He is a hulking figure of a man, but in normal society, you know, he's just a really tall dude. Here he looks, you know, extremely tiny.
So are we like gonna be like allowed in to, I don't know, sleep, drink, be merry?
Yeah, just rest for the night before making our way. You know, rest up before we go to the next town, please.
Raheeman is going to Raheeman's going to say, "Is my brother still in town? Tession. Tession." The giant shakes his head and says, "No, Tession serves another now." Raheeman's eyes go wide and says, "There's another?" The man, the Goliath nods and says, "There are 3. Raheeman looks back at the party and kind of laughs a little bit, like a kind of that nervous laughter, and says, "It's been time since I've been home."
That's fine, man.
Are you talking about the giants that you guys serve?
He nods, and the Goliath that's talking to Raheeman is going to say, "Theaton has gotten a band of gnolls to serve him, taken control of the southern forests."
Huh.
We met the Knolls.
Well, we're just passing through, so we'll be gone tomorrow, I'm sure.
He nods at you guys and looks at Rahiman and says, "Our war is your war. Your sister fights still." Rahiman is going to spit and say, "Hef! I care not for the disputes over a simple forest. There's an entire world out there for us to see." The Goliath shakes his head at Rahiman and begins stomping off.
I see why you didn't want to come here.
He nods and says, "But is good news? Sister lives, so does brother." Effie's gonna say, "Aren't they trying to kill each other?" Rahiman brushes a hand at her and says, "Psh, it's dicks away." Effie shrugs and says, "Well, where do we stay?" He points to one of these stone buildings. There are no doors on any of these things. They're just kind of like to you guys what would be like small, or what would be like large guard towers, just like circular open guard towers. But inside you can see some of them have a just like a second floor, which once again to you guys looks like a second floor, but it's actually it's just a bed raised up. Rahiman is going to lead you guys to one of these and say, we can go to my family's home. None stay here if my brother is out."
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
How long have we been traveling, Brandon?
You guys, travel is dictated on the map by 8 hours of travel for the day.
Yep.
Rahiman pushed you guys 16 hours.
Okay,
like, come on, guys, let's go.
In that time, just to make sure we don't lose track, did Thyri catch up with us, or is she still?
She's not here yet.
Gone. Oh, not good.
I'll tell Rahiman that, Thyri wanted to wait behind. She said she would meet up with us in a couple hours.
He nods and says, "They are very gifted."
I don't think we told her we're coming to this village, though. She might be going to that other town.
He shakes his head and says, "I've told Thyri stories of my village. She'll know where to find it."
Okay. Well, I'm getting tired. I think it's about time to go to sleep, isn't it? We just marched 16 hours straight here, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, you guys are borderlining exhausted. But that is the 29th of, or rather, if you guys sleep away today, it would be the 29th of Father, or a priestess waking up.
Yeah,
Anybody
man,
want to do anything
tired.
today? Anything else to be done?
Yeah, if you guys don't have anything else you want to do, you can assume the village is safe for you to sleep in.
Yeah, I mean,
All right. You guys spend the night sleeping in the village. There is a while this village is on the it's on the edge of the forest, just kind of entering this region. You guys can see there is activity in the night just because how this building is kind of structured, and I can kind of draw this out for you. And then it would be kind of built into a large tree right here, grown around it. But anyways, the openness of this building, and there's you know, a few discarded Goliath objects here and there, and here piles of cloth, some intricate just like wood charms and seats that are sized for giants and Goliaths. But anyways, in here you can see the openness like of this place, and there are people passing through here throughout the night. You're going to see several, and this is just loud enough that, you know, people, you know, would be waking up and, you know, see this happening. You guys are going to see several different groups of Agrim Guard right into the center here. What appears to be some of these Goliath leaders, and then right out of town. This happens several times throughout the night. Otherwise, you guys wake up on the 29th of Priestess. Feels good. Effie is going to be the first one to wake up. And you guys are going to see her. Oh man, this is going to be weird. So I'm going to roll you guys all percentage dice of just, I'm assuming you're all working up at the same time. So I'm going to roll Urkus first, 49, Alo at an 89, Roman at a 76, Tristan at a 7, Hauzik at a 69, and Rahiman at a 49. So everybody's like kind of coming to. And you guys are going to see Effie is wide awake in the morning. She is sitting over Tristan's bed, and she is kind of just licking her lips, staring down at him. She hasn't moved or anything, but as people start coming to, she's gonna say, "We should hurry and get to the Vale. I feel the hunger."
Crap.
You guys can see her fangs and her skin is starting to pale. It has been quite some time since she's fed.
Oh, crap.
Tristan comes to with Effie standing above him.
Huh.
This is new.
At least
I'm a married
we know Tristan is appetizing.
Yeah. She has never gone this long without eating before.
We need to go find a meal, as it were.
Does it have to be a person? Like, can it be a
like
gnoll?
a history or something?
It's
Because
got to
of
be anything with a soul.
the Darkened Vale.
I would imagine most creatures of the Darkened Vale might not have a soul, but...
Well, that's out of character. The Darkened Vale, like,
Right.
sustains Terrai. Like, the land itself does.
Right.
But I don't know if I know that to be like, guys, we don't have to go kill anybody.
Well, she just told you we need to get to the Darkened Vale quick.
Yeah, I think we should hurry up.
In the meantime, I would like if we could find perhaps a meal for you to give us some extra time.
She is going to look towards the group and said, or she's going to look towards Rahiman and say, your friends said you're at war with the Gnolls. They wouldn't mind if maybe 2 or 3 of them went missing. Rahiman is going to shake his hands and say, I'm not getting involved with my family's wars.
We're not asking you to. What we are asking you is that you lead us to some creature of some sort. Tristan will turn to Effie and say, it can be most creatures, can it not?
Effie nods and says some things are more satisfying. Did
This will just
Roman roll a history check?
I was just checking if that's a thing, but if she already pointed out the veil, then it doesn't matter, I think.
I will still allow you that history check if you want.
Sure.
Ooh, 9. I'm trying to think, because there's something else historically about Terai, and Effie would know this too. And she's going to suggest, or we don't have to get off stray, or we don't have to get off course for me. I can eat magic for a month.
Tristan will give her a deadpan look and say, sure, but what if one night I seem more appetizing than the magic?
Effie nods and says, yes. It's better if we just find something to kill.
Right, let's be off then.
Guess we're hunting a gnoll.
Alright.
Not to play police too hard, but it is about 9:40. We've been at this for about 2.5 hours. I don't know that we have time to do a skill challenge to find a gnoll and then a combat with one.
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If you guys want to track a gnoll, you can. The 6 of you ambushing one of these things, you wouldn't even have to, get into a major combat. It would be a matter of, trying to sneak up on a group of them, hold person, and then just letting Effie go to town.
Well, hold person, that's Tristan's specialty.
I got that too.
And I don't know if you've noticed lately, but it doesn't seem to be working.
Do you not know the flowchart?
Well, if it's an emergency, I can use the to make him fill.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could just do that. And personally,
force
Tristan
the
has no moral compunctions against kidnapping a guy from Raheem's tribe, but
Hey!
So you make fun of our friend.
Urkus,
Yes.
roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no. Shit, where's wisdom?
Ooh, 15.
Oh no.
Alright.
Oh no. I don't like that oof.
What? Nothing happened.
Well, moving on.
I would like to show Effie the Restone and ask her, I still have this. Should I throw this out?
Effie is going to inspect it, rolling an Arcana check, and say, "This looks just like." She stops halfway through, kind of looking at Urkus, and then back at the stone. Says, "It looks just like the one, we found at the docks."
Yeah, I found this implanted in the ground with a few others back at Olivia's and decided to take it because I don't like her. And I was really hoping this would mess something up of hers. I just felt like being petty.
Olivia, Effie's gonna say, "Oh, You think that she can see us through it?
I don't know. I'm hoping that you would know.
Effie's gonna nod and say, divination magic to scry on objects does exist.
Should we destroy it?
Effie is going to shake her head and say, I don't know what that thing does. They were researching it at the university. Perhaps if we provide them with a second one, it could be beneficial, but...
Or we could get hunted down by, a Shatterer.
She nods and says, I think it's best if we destroy it then.
Dralos wonders if you can read the rune.
Yeah.
What languages, wait, why can't I hear him speak? What languages does Dralos speak?
I believe he does know Old Tongue. Or Sanskrit.
Sanskrit.
Alrighty, this is in the, same language as the one that was, on Olivia's, face and on the other ones. That's weird. I can't hear him. I don't have him muted.
Yeah, he's suffering the same thing I suffered now.
I don't hear him either.
It's contagious! We need to burn them!
Yeah, these things, aren't written in, Old Tongue. They are... Well, yeah, the one on Olivia's face is an Old Tongue word, but it wasn't written in Old Tongue. You guys drew out the symbol and somebody else recognized it. The language specifically that it was in was Primordial. Now everybody's silent. Oh god.
We could write this symbol down if we want to get rid of the rune itself.
That's not a bad idea. What do you destroy this thing with? I mean, I don't know what it's made out of. Like, you know, can I punch it? Last thing I punched almost melted my knuckles.
Well, you just like throw it in the ocean or something.
Well, we'd have to get to the ocean, so.
We're probably going to take a boat at some point. It shouldn't be too long. Or we could bury it somewhere.
I don't know how I feel about burying it.
I don't know how I feel about putting this into the ground, considering I pulled it out of it.
That makes sense.
Oh, we can just try to shatter it with something. It's like stone, right?
It is. Rahiman says, I'll go get one of my, brother's hammers.
Could I do an Arcana check to see if I know how to destroy something like this?
You can.
17?
Most of the time, when destroying magical items, you want to dispel them first and then break them.
Also, let's do it out of town.
Well, we need to dispel it somehow, and I don't have that spell. Maybe we can find somebody who can.
Effie is capable of dispelling it.
That's right.
She steps forward. As
We should still not do this in town. The last time we broke stuff of Olivia's, it blew up.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Alright, so, where you guys want to head?
Just out of town.
All right.
Pretty good distance away.
So you guys start leaving town, and give me un secondo. Isn't this fun? Isn't this fun? Isn't this fun? Oh God. All right. Oh God. Okay. That's not bad. I have to roll one more thing. Okay. Alright. So, oh, times the D percentage. Okay, cool. Oh! Alright, so you guys are going to head, out of, you guys are going to head out of town. You're going to, as you guys are, leaving, Roman, actually, only Roman, is going to see, there appears to be an Agrim guard here, unmounted, dressed in the same, robe, desert armor as the other ones. They are, asking, they're, talking to a group of Goliaths, dragging what appears to be an entire tree into the village. It is just one.
Can I see this conversation happening? Specifically, can I see them talk?
You can't see their the Agrim guard's mouth, but you can see the Goliath's mouth. He points in your direction and says, "A bunch of small ones came in today. They were with the young Dixel." He points in your direction as the party is leaving.
Guys.
The person looks back at you. You can see a full head of white hair from this distance. They start moving in your direction.
Full head of white hair. Full head of white hair. She did not have a full... My processing. Olivia had brown hair.
She did.
Guys? Somebody's coming. It's one of those Agrim, the fire and the death, or whatever it was.
As the whole party... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Let us keep walking. If they have hostile intent, then we may be in luck. We might find a meal sooner than we expect.
Okay.
Looking back at the person approaching as you guys turn, Effie is going to turn and look over her shoulder. This person looks
white hair.
Yeah, surprisingly young and completely unscarred. Not much of a warrior or any face mask like the other ones were wearing. Effie is going to Effie's going to recognize her and turn and say, "Mother!" She runs back, and the woman begins running towards you guys and says, "Ophelia!" She catches Effie in her arms, holding her, and then looking towards the rest of you and say, "I'm sorry, I've never been here before. I was off target."
Technically speaking, we're all off target.
Oh, I was on mute this whole time. Everything I said is gone.
Oh, hey, by the way, the person standing in front of you. What did Urka say?
Oh, no, I was when white hair. No, when Roman said someone's following us, I was like, oh no. And then when I found out it was Dila, my response was, oh, that saves us some time.
She looks at Effie and says, "How were your travels? That cult you were investigating?" She shakes her head and says, "I got distracted. You went missing." She says, "I'm fine. I'm always fine."
You weren't fine.
Yeah, you didn't look
And
fine.
Urkus and I are still dealing with your lack of fine.
She's going to look down and say, yes, your friend. I'm sorry about that, but her sacrifice will not go in vain.
I hope it doesn't.
Did you see the bridge?
She's going to shake her head and say, my soul is bound to this plane, to the earth fire. I've never seen it.
I'm going to dramatically kick dirt. Curse under my breath.
Well, that... Okay. That's one thing less to do.
She's going to look to Effie and say, well, we have to go back. I left my all of my belongings in that cave. I know a couple spells off the top of my head, but
well, you're in luck.
We got you things. Also, you say go back there really nonchalantly.
She nods and says, knowing I'm free, Olivia would be a fool to stay there.
So I'm curious, how did you end up getting caught in the first place? What happened?
Can you get us back to a Luna guy?
You're gonna see Dila turn bright red, and she's going to say, well, I was captured, of course. And Effie is going to look at her and say, it was an anti-magic field, wasn't it? Dila nods, and Effie says, 3,000 years and you still haven't learned combat. Dila shakes her head and says, anytime I can cast spells, I'm perfectly fine. I won't walk into a trap a second time.
Was it Olivia alone who trapped you, or did she have others that were working with her or for her?
She shakes her head and says, no, it's a young mage I exiled from the university. Werewolf. Companion from my past, and Livia herself. It took all four of them.
Oh, 4 people, okay.
Okay,
She nods and says a deathen to be specific.
Okay, so before we go any further, can we just do something about this runestone? I don't feel good holding it.
She is going to inspect it and say, we can store it in the university vaults.
We were actually planning on destroying it.
Well, we also made that decision before we had her here.
Yeah.
Yet again, can you get us home?
I'm
a coastal man, not a desert person.
Yeah, she is going to shake her head and say, I can try. I don't remember the exact incantation for the teleportation circle.
Let's get Byrie before we do anything. I'm not sure that she's Draelos' sister?
No, Housix.
Housix. Okay, wait. I'm not sure how Housix would feel if we just left his sister. You know, another one.
She's gonna nod and say, I also need to recover my before she does. Effie puts the satchel in her arms. She begins looking through it and says, she pulls out an amulet and puts it on.
I want to ask Winrona if she knows what Olivia and her co-conspirators were planning to accomplish by kidnapping her. If they had a specific goal in mind, or if they were just trying to, cause chaos.
Did you get names?
Of the other people?
Well, yeah. Like,
She said they were former students, right?
Yeah. She is going to shake her head and say, "I know not the Deathan, but the young mage. I'd long since exiled from the university. Lena Ladelia, I believe. And
I know that name.
I do not. I don't think.
That's the bitch I snitched on."
Mm-hmm. And she's going to go on and say, the accomplice is a Lildorai. One that got me exiled from my home continent.
That would make him really old.
Do you know what their goal was? What were they trying to accomplish?
She's going to shake her head and say, "No, Olivia's only goal, or only order, was to keep me restrained." And she's gonna look to Effie and say, "Why? What has happened in my absence?"
You must have had a plan for when you were restrained.
Well, Nagai and Arter are in open war.
Would they care about either power? I think they have their own plans that...
Was she missing when Muscle Zombie went down?
She was. She went missing at the start of that month.
So, the Magnate of Arter's dead.
And she's...
There's a new one. I don't know about him, but...
Yeah, she's gonna look with a little bit of surprise and say, "And was that their doing?"
Yes. Yes, it was. Because that's... BAM! Dots! Yeah. Assassin. Nyla's a Dorai, right? That's the phrase you'd use?
Yes.
A Dorai assassin. Nyla... I don't know her last name. She was hired by your exiled mage to do business, to handle parts of the incident that caused the Magnate's death, using an earth fire weapon.
Effie is going to roll her eyes at Dila and say, "You should have killed that girl when you had the chance. You're too lenient."
What did she do that you were all gung-ho about her death? I mean, now, hindsight being 2020, her being alive seems to be a problem. But...
Dila is going to just kind of mull over the conversation real quick, like while still looking in her bag, and she's going to look back to Effie and say, "My journal's missing." Effie fishes out the book and hands it back to her. Dila places the book into what everybody else can see her slide this book into her satchel. Roman is going to see her unhook something, like he's going to notice her just kind of unhook something and slide the book into what appears to be a secret compartment. And she's going to say, she pried into matters not meant for her eyes. And as she says that, Dila kind of gives Effie kind of a disappointed look.
So that is that all I'm gonna get? I'm gonna get a non-answer. I fought a Shatterer and watched a close friend die, so we could have this conversation. I think I've earned details.
She is. Whew. All right, so you guys are having this conversation kind of in the open square here, and she's going to move the party, or rather, she's going to walk back to the building and say, "I scryed on you here in this one. Is this safe to talk in?"
It is about as safe as it is out here. I don't think many of these people care for the conversational topic we currently keep.
Wait, she scryed on us.
She did.
That was the wisdom save?
It was.
Oh.
And she still missed.
Wait, she missed or I missed?
She landed off target by a small distance.
Well, good. My freak out was maybe for nothing. We don't know.
But anyways, she leads you guys inside the building, and she's going to gesture to the outside and say, Effie, or yeah, she would call her Effie and say, Effie, the wall spell I taught you. Effie's going to grumble and cast Wall of Stone, forming a small wall across the back wall, or over the entrance here, just a very thin sheet of stone. It goes dark inside here, and Dila casts the Dancing Lights cantrip, and she's going to say, the university serves two purposes: to head and discover magic research, and also to monitor what other magic mortals are obtaining. She's gonna go on and say, Elena stole a book from my personal library. One written by an archmage, nearly 1,000 years old.
What's in this book?
She sought rituals to bind creatures to this plane, more and more powerful ones, as she was obsessed with summoning. But in the book were ways to bind other things.
Like?
She gestures to herself and says, like the circle you saw me stuck in.
So, maybe I'm slow, but does anybody have any idea why Olivia and her, her accomplices would want to kill the magnate? Are they trying to overthrow all of society? Is it? What does everybody think?
Effie's gonna say, if that's the rituals of Yapple, Dila nods, and Effie's gonna say she could take an earth fire if she could complete the ritual.
How does one steal an earth?
Yes,
and Dila's going to say, not meant for mortals.
You know, the last time a magical entity beyond my comprehension told me that it wasn't meant for mortals, a psychic woman saved your ass.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at least you're prettier than the wolf.
You know, I'm not going to argue that.
She nods and agrees with you and says, I can't begin to tell you how it works. My mind can only hold so much at a time before other things fade from it. And Effie says, or Effie's going to chime in and say, for breaking into your personal quarters alone, she should have been murdered.
So you were talking about summoning things, pulling stuff. Is that like, was it Raycraft? Kron had a bunch of books on that stuff.
She nods and says, in a sense, Raycraft deals with this plane. What this girl was interested in were powers beyond.
Brennan, would I know anything about like what type of entities could be summoned? Could I do like an Arcana check, maybe?
Yes, you can.
29.
29?
Oh wait, I got 17 first. Was that the same roll, or was that before?
That Arcana check was for destroying the thingy thing.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, 29 for what could be summoned?
Yeah. Historically, the bridge is a prison for lots of things. There are, all types of rumors over the world of like things that are locked away and stuck in the bridge. If there's a horror inside of your mind, it probably, like the story has came from somewhere and it can probably be pulled out of the bridge into this realm. However, most summoning spells are not permanent.
Yeah, but a giant demon running around for a week is kind of a problem.
Yeah, but a giant demon running around forever is an even bigger problem.
Well, it's not permanent, at least.
I feel like once, we talk about all the things you could pull out of the bridge, if that's an open conversation.
Sure.
Roman would kind of go like, she could let out Hefnir.
So, Brennan, like, in this world, is there, like, equivalent planes, like the plane of Hells and the plane of, like, the Void and whatever other crazy worlds are out there? Does that all exist in this world?
No, there are only 3 planes. The material plane, the bridge, and Providence.
Okay. I mean, either way, it's bad. Someone asked Dila if they have this power and they're out there, how can they be stopped? Does she have any ideas or plans on what we could do to stop them from doing this, some dark corner of the world somewhere?
Dila is going to think on it and say, I believe we should start with Olivia. She's the most dangerous and we need to bring her in.
So just capturing them one by one is our only real plan here?
She nods and says, the 4 of them shouldn't be able to get very far.
Sounds good to me. And does she know all 4 names of the people? Or does she only know the 2?
She told you, she told you there was a Deathan in the form of a werewolf. She told you a name. Roman corrected it to Elena. And then Olivia, of course, was there, and then she told you an accomplice who got her exiled from Girion.
What was that person's name?
She did not say it.
Can I ask her what the other person that got her exiled, what the person's name was?
She is gonna look to you and say, Lord Genprius Mari.
Interesting.
Oh,
You've heard that name, right?
yeah.
That was the guy we saw the wedding symbols on the scry of
You did.
Dila. Alright, and Brendan, you said what was the werewolf thing? Bethan?
Yeah, it is. It is a werewolf, but it is not simply a lycanthrope template. She's called it a Deathen. It is from those religious wars where the werewolves came from. It is more a fiend than it is a lycanthrope.
Is Deathen the type of fiend, or is it that's the thing's name?
It's like a type of creature.
Okay. Does she know the name of that creature?
She would not. Yeah, she would tell you guys like, no, it was just there. Massive, fought me.
It gives me some stuff to look up in the library later.
But yeah, we're gonna go find Olivia. She has something of ours.
And if we have this runestone, we should be able to scry on her with it, correct?
We know who she is. We can scry on her anyway.
I think having something helps, doesn't it?
I mean, we know her name. We know what she looks like. We've actually met her now.
Yeah, I thought if you had something of theirs, it made it easier, but I could be mistaken.
We've done it before with the Shattertooth. Yeah. As Drayless disciple, we can use the mirror.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Dila is going to walk out and say, "Okay, let's go get your friend." Effie is going to drop concentration on the wall of stone, and it's going to start crumbling. Dila begins leading you guys in the complete opposite direction of where Thyri is. Or rather, the complete opposite direction that Thyri would be in.
Wait.
Should we? I'm not sure how to take this, because part of me wants to be suspicious, part of me has realized that this all-powerful magical entity is an airhead.
Honestly, this is I'm getting used to this. Roman, help me, I'm getting used to this.
Look, you just get used to it. You know, eventually we'll die.
I like to call out to Dila and tell her, Thyri was back at the cave we came out of. Did she somehow circle around us?
Dila is going to look around, look at the sun, and then look down at you guys and say, yes.
Okay. Also, if you haven't noticed, Effie's a little bit parched.
Effie,
so we were
has
also
been biting her lip this whole time, like just lips over her teeth. Is going to look at you guys and then look at Dila and say, and she's gonna say, no, I'm fine.
Yeah, we're gonna go find. If it also another part of our goal is to hunt a knoll so that she can quench her thirst.
As you say that, Dila's going to turn, inspecting Effie, and say, "Why would you need to feed? I let the Silver Sigil into the university, so they take you to the Vale once a week." Effie looks down and says, may not have been taking them up on that offer. I don't like what you had to compromise for that. Dila is going to grab her face and say, "Look, girl, I don't care what I have to compromise." And she's going to turn to you guys and say, "Let's find this damn Knoll and kill it." Effie's going to say, No. We need to focus on Olivia. I'll be fine. I've got at least a week, 2 weeks.
Effie, please stop arguing with your mom.
You were standing over me licking your chops. Killing the Knoll.
It'll take like 3 hours. We got time for that.
I have some misplaced aggression I need to take out.
Alright.
So
Also, I'm gonna like turn to Urkus and just be like, I too am getting used to this. And understand why my goddess has no sense attention span.
Alright,
you're gonna have to teach me about this religion of yours.
I will sing you the song of my people after we kill a Knoll.
We're going to pick up here next week at you guys Knoll hunting. If you guys want, you can roll an investigation check now, or a survival check for trying to track through this forest.
I'm going to ask Urkus real quick what his pluses in either of those are.
Nature or survival? I'm good on both.
I will help him do those things.
Let's go with survival. Come on.
Alright. So, yeah, investigation check on the 22, you're gonna, you guys are going to know that, you know, the Knolls have been encroaching on this territory. You know, you saw the campfires. It's a little harder to find them during the day. At night, they're very active. But yeah, Urkus is going to be able to get onto a warband of them, and he's going to be able to track what seems to be a larger group over here. Either that, or he's tracking members of the Agram's Guard. Anyways, the whole time you guys are walking, you know, trying to track this path, Dila is talking to Effie and just like, "So tell me about your travels. How's that Lyra?" You know, I'm kidding.
How's your psycho girlfriend? How's she doing?
In character from what I've gathered, though.
It does.
You bet, because you're about to become like primal, and we just fought a Shadower. But you know, how are you?
Yeah, we're gonna end there for the night. You guys are leaving Rahiman's village, looking for a Knoll to kill. You will still have to... Well, no, you won't have to buy supplies for the desert if you don't want to go to the desert anymore.
I mean, I kind of want to go to the desert.
We don't have to anymore.
But there's a sword!
Yeah.
You don't know that.
I do! Quinn Roddy is somewhere in that desert, and I am going to kill him for his weapon.
No, I mean, Roman doesn't know that.
We definitely have to hop these bars of
Dila,
before we leave the village.
I meant to tell you guys this through roleplay. I don't know if I did. Dila cannot cast spells without her spellbook. Olivia destroyed it in front of her. So
basically, she's a peasant.
We traded down.
Yeah,
I picked up on
we really
that.
traded down.
Yeah.
Capella can see in the future. At least she has the help action.
Yeah. It is. One other thing, Dila would tell you guys as you're walking. She was picked up at the Earthfire by the Agram Guard, and one of the court mages of the Undying Empress sent her here. So, anyways, I'm just trying to make sure I hit all the story moments for tonight. Whatever we didn't hit,
Okay,
we'll hit later.
I low-key thought she killed an Agram, took their clothes, and just ran with it.
No, she is beloved in the Darkened Vale.
Right.
Alright, so, yeah, you guys are in, in Rahiman's village. You learn the, giants have gone to war. Dila is back. And you also learned, the Agram Guard told you there is Archblight on the Archblight has taken over the southern town of Murkwaters. Yeah. That's 4 major events tonight. So yeah, it's gonna be 2,000 experience for tonight.
Yes! I am level 9.
Okay, I was trying to think of if anything else major happened. I'm gonna give give Alo inspiration tonight, and Urkus both inspiration. Alo for the Knoll conversation of like, do you guys speak common? Like, all right, come on.
That's a fair question.
Oh, there's also Halzik too.
Oh yeah, I'll give Halzik inspiration for tonight too. And Urkus, because just like, hey, there are people up there, they might be hostile, and it's just like, yeah, let's not.
I'm sitting this one out.
You can roll an insight check too for Urkus, and I will tell him if he remembers any of the secrets that he saw in when Rona's personal journal.
What now?
A insight check.
Insight. All right.
Yeah,
let me see.
Because you only glanced at it briefly, so you know.
Oh.
Yeah, there are numbers and you know, words and different like matrices and things just like all scried out in this book. But you know, to you it's just like you can remember the images, but not what any of it meant. Effie spent 2 days studying it, so
she is much smarter than me.
Quick question.
Yes.
I got the 3,000 from last session, but I appear to be 5,000 away from level 9. I'm not sure if this is just due to me having missed a couple of sessions, but last I checked, I was a good number of experience points ahead of Roman.
I think you might have missed like 1 session of experience for. It might have been last session's experience.
No, I got the 3,000 from last session.
I'll take a look at your sheet, but I know Rob's been here for every single thing, so he should be like the standard baseline of, you know, what experience is that in for, you know, peeps.
Phase to show up.
I don't know. I just thought I'd mention it in case you were like, yeah, didn't you get the 5,000 from the 5 or something?
Oh, by the way, something I will do before I get off of stream. Let's see, where is Shatterers, factions? We're still missing one.
I gotta go. We have to find civilization so I can talk to the Ruby Shadow again.
Oh, here we go. We are going to move Olivia into the 7. Hey, and we'll delete one of these question mark characters.
Oh, wow, we know, what, 4 of those?
Yeah, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, 6. You guys got the name of Prius Mari. There we go. All right, so let me do.
Is he actually one of them now? I mean, that makes sense, but
yeah, you guys don't know anything else about him. But your next session is on the 9th, and I'm going to end the broadcast there. Yeah.
Oh, there's the 5th Ascended.